Hey there, let's have a look at this question 5D, how to sketch a cosine function. So I'm just going to copy this question 5 over here. 5D, negative sine. Wait, that's not a cosine function. I'll do C and D just in case you meant 5C. But let's have a look. Let's have a look here. So question 5D, if we were to do D, D says you want to sketch the graph of negative 2 sine 3x between 0 to 2 pi. So first things first, we're going to find out what the period is. And so n is currently 3, so the period, remember, is normally 2 pi multiplied to the reciprocal of n, which is a factor of a third. Okay, or if you want, you can use 2 pi on n, and that works as well. Okay, so that tells me that the period is 2 pi on 3, and this negative, remember, is a reflection. Doesn't stretch it or anything, it just reflects it. So that means the shape of the sine graph will now be like this, and then the 2 will tell you a dilation of factor 2 from the y-axis, means amplitude is 2. Okay, so the dilation of factor 2 from the x-axis, so it's a vertical stretch. Okay, vertical stretch to the graph. That's essentially what it does. All right, now, if we were to sketch this, let's see, I'm going to draw axes. Let's do this. Let's just put that in there. There we go. Nice and easy. And then from here, we've got what? A sine graph that's only between 0 to 2 pi. So 0 to 2 pi. Now this is tricky because it's 2 pi over 3 makes one cycle. So how many of these will you need to end up at 2 pi? Well, to get 2 pi, if it's out of thirds, then I know that getting to 6 pi on 3, all the way up to 6 pi on 3 will make it 2 pi, true? And what you can see here is 2 pi on 3, the next one would then be 4 pi on 3 as your next cycle, true? So that means you're going to get 3 cycles now, so we can see that 1, that's one cycle, so it's 2 pi on 3, 2, that's your third cycle, and then finally, that's your second cycle, that's your third cycle. But what have I done wrong? Remember, there was a reflection, so it should be the other way around. It should be reflected because of the negative, so it's now down and up, down and up. So that's second, that's starting the second cycle, and now third cycle. There we go. So that's my sine graph, as you can see there, but negative sine graph. And finally, remember that there was so that deals with the period. So I've done the 3, I've done the negative, now I just need to do the 2, which is the amplitude. The amplitude clearly is a maximum height of 2 and a minimum height bottom of negative 2. Okay, so that is your graph. That's your sine graph from 0 to 2 pi, 3 cycles. Okay, now let's do a cos problem, a cosine problem. Same idea. So again, this is 2, so amplitude is 2. And then cos, this period again is the very same thing. So it will be 2 pi on 3, 0 to 2 pi. So really the only difference is the shape of cosine. And we know the shape of cosine looks like this at the very start. Okay, so what has changed here? We've got the amplitude and we've got the number of cycles. So if I were to draw this, the same thing again, we're going to do an axis. We're going to do the axes right there. And then we're going to do 0 to 2 pi. And we know that one cycle, so remember, cosine is not negative, so it's going to start from the top, come back down, come back up. Yeah? That's one cycle. Now that's meant to be 2 pi on 3. That's one cycle, 2 pi on 3. Then the next one is then 4 pi on 3. So that's 4 pi on 3. And then finally, that's a terrible graph there. I'm just going to fix it again. Here we go. And then you do another cycle, and you finish off at 6 pi on 3, which is really 2 pi. There you go. Those are my 3 cycles, and that's my cos graph. And here we go. Maximum height of 2 and minimum height of negative 2. And that's it. 0 to 2 pi, 3 cycles, amplitude of 2. That is my cosine graph, which is different to the sine graph because, again, notice it starts off at 0. It doesn't start off at the maximum or minimum. In this case, it starts off at 2. So that's how you would do a cosine or a sine graph with extra number of cycles.